Thank you. Thank you, Martha. And now it is my pleasure to invite up our very own Reverend Eileen. She's going to share her talk titled Power Begins Within.
Thank you, Laura.
Hello, I'm so happy to be back on the coast where it's cool. Although we're having a heat wave today. Holy moly, it's warm. That's right, it'll turn down tomorrow from what I understand, right? It's supposed to be cooler tomorrow? Oh, like this. Yeah, I know, I like the heat, but then when my feet are cold, I'm ready to go back to south. But you know, that's right, I brought my electric foot warmer. I brought my electric foot warmer this time. My husband said, "What are you bringing?" And I said, "I need warm feet." Do you understand? You know what I mean, Martha?
I do. I grew up in Buffalo.
Yeah, you see, she grew up in Buffalo. When my feet get cold, that's it. I'm done. I want to go home. I want to crawl into bed. Don't talk to me. Anyone else? Right? Okay, good. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. So yeah, that's the only part of winter I don't like is my cold feet. My cold feet. And when I think about it, the last time I left here, I was frustrated because my feet were cold. I wasn't going to tell you the story, but apparently I am. I was frustrated because my feet were cold. And all I wanted to do was go back to the other house. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to get out of here. My feet were cold. They've been cold for a couple of days. I had my Uggs on. I had crawled into bed. No matter what I did, I went for a walk. I could not warm up my feet. And I was getting really irritated. Anybody ever get irritated?
Yeah.
No? Oh, okay, good. All right, yeah. You just get irritated, and then what happens? What happens when you get irritated? Anyone?
More irritating things happen.
More irritating things happen, right?
Stop breathing.
You stop breathing, yes.
You irritate other people.
You irritate other people. I never do that. I'm an angel. Right? Mine is my mind just starts at myself. Anybody else have that?
Yep.
That monkey mind? That
Yep.
That's what it sounds like to me. It's not even the teacher from Charlie Brown. It's not the wah, 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 wah. It's and I think, whose voice is that? I don't want that. I want to push it away. Want to know my secret to pushing it away?
Sure.
Yeah?
Warm up your feet.
Warm up my feet. Right, warm up my feet. I have it within me. I have that power within me to settle down that monkey mind. It's the breath. Everybody take a deep breath in with me and let it out audibly. Do it one more time. Breathe in and let it out audibly. I love the sounds. It just releases everything that's going on in your mind when you just stop and breathe. Now, I have been known to do this in the grocery store, specifically Safeway. When Safeway's got a sale on something, like they had my favorite ice cream on sale. By the way, it's on sale till Tuesday. It's $2 for a pint. It's the Talente Gelato, my favorite. And we were in the store yesterday and I was like, oh, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to, yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. Yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to go get my coupons online to make it $2 for a pint. How could you beat that, right? Fortunately, there was hardly anybody there. I don't think I've ever been there when it's been that empty. It was odd. We just hit it at the right time. But usually I stand in line and there's too many people and it's too crowded and it's all chaotic, right? And so I just take a deep breath and breathe. And then I smile. I smile. Its studies show that if you smile, Not only are you shifting what's going on within yourself, you're creating peace within yourself, but then you create peace with all of those around you. When you smile, that's all you have to do. Now, don't do the I'm frazzled smile, which I've done as a joke quite often, right? I do that with Mark a lot. He'll be like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine," right? He'll say, "Are you breathing?" My husband is so evolved since he started paying attention to our teachings. We'd stand in the grocery line together, and he's used to that rush, 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 rush. He just wants to get home. He doesn't want to get caught in traffic. And so he hates going anywhere after work. In fact, he doesn't like going anywhere after about 8 a.m. Right? About 8 a.m. Because, I've told you before, he leaves at 4 in the morning to go to work. So he misses traffic. And like this last few days, he's been working in San Francisco. And he's like, it's 12:30. I need to pack up my tools. I want to go. I don't want to hit traffic. He is bound and determined not to get traffic. So if I ask him to stop and do something on the way home, he's frazzled. Right? It's okay. I found my balance. I can go do those things. Right? But on the occasion when we have to go to the grocery store together and there's that feeling, I'll take a deep breath and he'll go, I just breathe for myself. And he'll say, "Oh, yeah, breathe." That's how it sounds like from him when he's frustrated. I say, "Does that settle you down?" He says, "Surprisingly, yeah. Yeah. It's all within." So when I'm sitting at the light here, because I got to get to town to meet somebody, what do? I take a few deep breaths. If I miss the first round of the light, sometimes that happens. I miss it like 2 or 3 times. Why does that happen for a small town? I just take a few deep breaths. I will get where I need to go. Everyone will be safe and it will be fine. The breath is that sacred small voice within. That's where we connect our head and our heart. You ever been thinking and you're overthinking something? Anybody here overthink other than me? You get into this thinking, and then you realize you've stopped breathing, or you're clenched your jaw, or your shoulders, or your buttocks, right? Something's clenched in your body. When you notice that, take a deep breath and see what happens. And when you keep breathing, then the answers start to come through. If I'm working on something, I'm trying to figure out a new computer program. I breathe. I give it space. I allow that still small voice within to come through. Ernest Holmes, let me see if I can find my quote without losing too much here. Ernest Holmes in Creative Mind and Success, he says, "There is something which waits on our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power of the universe." There's something which waits in our recognition to spring forward, bringing with it all the power of the universe. When my monkey mind is going, I'm blocking that. What's the other kind of monkey mind that I have? I bet you all have it too. Judgment. Right? Nobody here has judgment. Right? We all want things a certain way. I was listening to Reverend Edward Viljoen in Santa Rosa this morning, and he was talking about when people ask him, "What do you do for a living?" He says he works for let me see if I can get this right. He works for a nonprofit organization that teaches people how to connect with their deeper self by using meditation, spirituality, and community. He said much longer thing than that. He doesn't tell them he's a minister. When he tells them that, they say, "Oh, tell me more." And he tells them more. But what he found was when he says, and this happened to me recently, when he says, oh, I'm a minister, people go, right? People do this. Why? Why do you think they do that? They associate it with religion. They associate it with the teachings of their past, right?
Proselytizing.
Proselytizing. They think that they're going to be judged. Is that what you said too, Raina? Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts? Why would people go? Now, I don't know if you know Reverend Edward, but he's fantastic. He used to be our Pope of SOAS, right? Our spiritual leader. What's that?
Minister,
Minister is a verb, right?
you may happen to me.
Right. That may happen to you. Uh-oh. Well, I'm gonna have to process that one, George. That's why he doesn't tell people that he's a minister, because people go, I had it happen to me recently. Somebody went, I said, oh, don't let the title scare you. I'm still Eileen. It's all right. It's all right. And that person trusted that enough. And we were able to have some really great conversations. Hi, Jennifer. Right? I wasn't going to talk about you, but you're here. It's natural. People do that. If I walk into a meeting of interfaith ministers, there could be judgment about what it is that we do at Science of Mind, because people don't understand. They don't understand change your thinking, change your life. We're a new denomination. We're new. Christianity is thousands of years old. Hinduism is thousands of years old. Judaism is thousands of years old. We're 100. We're babies. But we're shifting the world. Right? How many of us have had our entire worlds or parts of our world shifted based on these teachings? Right? Because we learn to trust who we are and to live within that space, connecting that to here. One of my favorite quotes is that the hardest journey is between the head and the heart. It's only 12 inches, but it is the toughest journey. We are raised to think. You look, the way we were all taught in school was to think, pay attention, do your work, right? They're starting to teach kids in a little bit of a different way. I love doing kindergarten with Adeline. Adeline and I did kindergarten during COVID together, and she would get wiggly, and I'd say, what do you need? She'd say, I need to get my wiggles out. And she would run out to the backyard, run around the lawn like 3 or 4 times, and then come back in and sit down and say, I'm good now. What were we working on? Could you imagine doing that in kindergarten? Or well, like first grade, second grade when you were a kid?
I need that now.
You need that now, right? Do you need to get your wiggles out, Sylvia?
I often do.
Do you? You may. I give you permission. Get all your wiggles. What's that?
Doesn't tell a guy.
Go dance, right? Sylvia loves to dance. That's how she gets her wiggles out, right? How do you get your wiggles out? Sometimes it's meditation for me. Sometimes it's a deep breath. But allowing that space to do this. Emma Curtis Hopkins wisely stated, truth heals. Truth heals. We must bravely confront our current beliefs and experiences with power. All that monkey mind, that's the old stuff. That's the old tapes. That's the old garbage that we've been hanging on to, that has been telling us, you're not worthy. You can't do this. You failed at this before. Don't try it again. Anyone else? No, I'm the only one. Okay. If we shed our light on those triggers, if we pay attention to that, have you ever asked your monkey mind, what do you want? Ask it. What do you want? What is it that you need to say? Mine sometimes just says, I want to be acknowledged. Great. I hear you. Sit down. Shut up. I'm in charge, not you. Right? I'm in charge. The adult version of Eileen is here. That's my childhood, my stuff, my baggage. Anybody else ever have baggage? Boy, I tell you, when I came back to CSL centers, I came with a truckload. I came with a truckload of baggage. I sat in my foundations class bawling my eyes out. I remember one of my dear friends said in foundations, I really want to hear from Eileen. I want to hear what she has to say. As I was crying, my head was down, I was crying, I was feeling shame. I was feeling unworthy. I was embarrassed about feeling this way. I was grateful I was in a place that I was safe in that moment. And Peter wanted me to talk. And I thought, are you kidding me? No. I'm here sitting in my luggage. I'm opening it all up. I'm not showing it to you, but it's all here and I'm opening it up. And I'm trying to look at it. Thank goodness a practitioner teaching the class said, I think Eileen just needs to sit and be with us. She knew what was going on with me. I had confided in her. She said, I think we need to let Eileen just sit and be with us. And I was for 10 weeks, 12 weeks. When I did speak up, they all stopped because they were shocked. Oh my God, she speaks. Can you imagine that? Oh my God, Eileen speaks. They didn't know what my voice sounded like. And I started to unpack that baggage. I'm going to tell you that it's all unpacked. No. No, I think that's a lifelong journey. Do you? Right? My grandfather, my Grandpa Henry, Red is what they called him out here on the coast. Red would say to me when I was a little girl, you know, life is like an onion. He said this before I heard it in any spiritual center. He said, and our job is to peel that onion away. And as we do, we become more godlike, which startled me because I never knew Grandpa to go to church. He went to the garden out in Albion. He didn't go to church. I didn't know this part of him at all. He said, when we become our most God-like, then we have completed our journey on earth. Now I understand what he was saying now, but boy, I tell you, as a 6 or 7 or 8-year-old kid, I thought, uh-oh, I don't want to die. Right? Push that stuff away. But as an adult, I understand what he was saying. You're releasing all of that baggage, all of that junk, all of that ick from who you are. And by releasing it, you forgive it. You have to forgive that went on and how you reacted to it. Right? I've talked about forgiveness before. It's about our internal forgiveness. It's not about forgiving them. They're doing what they need to do. It's about forgiving ourselves for how we reacted. Sometimes that means making amends. Sometimes it means just knowing that, okay, that's how I reacted. I will let myself off the hook for this. I see what I did. I'll do something different. That gives us what we call clean power. That gives us our power back, but in a clean way. When we have clean power, our personal power, once we've done this forgiveness work, the more that we're called to explore new thoughts and new ideas and redefine our understanding of what that power is. I was just telling Julia the other day that I allowed myself a 1.5 years ago to be in a relationship where somebody kept putting me down and I started to believe them. I felt really small. I felt really small. I didn't want to be seen anymore, but I knew that I had things that I had to do. So I had to show up. I had to do the things to make this person see that I was committed. But I still felt small. They were holding something that they made up in their head about me and kept repeating it. And I finally said, you know, you've heard this a lot from you, but there's no proof of this. Where did I fail you? It was their belief. It was their belief that I had wandered away and left them hanging with a whole bunch of stuff, which I had actually completed it and said, here, I need to hand this back. It's complete, but I'm not picking up any new things for a little while. I need to take care of me. And as this person repeated again, you left me hanging, I thought, this is not about me. Whoa, this is not about me. Oh, why did I believe that this was about me? It was that monkey mind. That's where I took my power back. I said, I mean, this isn't about you. It's about this person. Now, what can I learn from that? Right? I forgave myself for letting this dampen my light. I forgave myself. And then I stood in my power. And I said, I'm sorry this doesn't work for you anymore, but this interaction doesn't work for me anymore. I need to let this go, and I hope you can too. I'll pray for the both of us. And I stood in my power. Wow, did things change for me? Things totally changed for me. So as we do our inner work to heal our relationship with power, we open ourselves up to a new relationship to it, a more loving relationship with it. When we release all of that ick, that societal expectation, we can allow the divinity within us to come forward. And that is so much softer and more gentle. You get to witness it in different ways. I got to witness it at Rebecca's house, where she played her piano for us, and I sat in her garden. Oh my God, it was transforming. I hope that a bunch of you went the following week. It was transformational. I felt myself shifted by her playing, sitting quietly in the garden. Thank you. I've told her this before, but I wanted to tell her in public. Thank you. It was such a gift for me that I walked around with that high for a week at least, right? That's the life I want to live in. So this week, I want you to embrace your new relationship with power through heightened awareness. Which power is driving you? Is it the power of your luggage? Your baggage? Is it the power of someone else doing this? Because what happens when somebody's doing this to us, right? It's their own insecurity. Yeah. Right? Right. When we recognize that, okay, it's not about me. If you're saying words to me that don't resonate with who I know I am, it's not about me. That's your stuff. Can't tell people that because they can't hear it, but you can know that. That's you. So observe your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions related to power. Notice what triggers come up to create limitations for you in life. And notice that as you become more mindful, your responses you're more mindful of your responses to power, that you can consciously redirect it, and shift everything. Through this practice, this simple practice, we nurture the growth of that clean power within ourselves. And then we inspire others to do the same. When you're in a stressful situation, take a deep breath a few times. And don't stare at people, but just notice what happens to the people around you. Just notice. Let me know next week. I'm curious. As you practice that, see how far your energy goes out, and if you're noticing that same thing happening with other people. It's scientifically proven, so it will happen. So that's your homework this week. Can you do that?
Yep.
Can you report back to me? You can just send me a text or an email or call me and say, hey, I noticed. Or see me next Sunday. Let me know, I noticed. Because I want to celebrate with you. I want to celebrate with you. Because these are the wins in our lives. So let's pray. So take a deep breath in and release it. I'm knowing that there is only one power, one presence, one energy that moves in, through, and around each and every one of us. I know that this power, this energy is love. It's patience, it's power, it's light, it's joy. It is all that there is. And I know that we are each connected with that one power, that I, Eileen Curitan, am connected with that, just as each and every one of you are connected. There's no space where we stop and that energy starts. No matter what you call it, God, love, divine presence, the universe. There's no place where it stops and we start. We're all in the mixing bowl. We're all a part of the divine pastry. The divine mashed potatoes. The divine fill in the blank. We are all a part of that. And knowing that to be the truth, I know and declare that there is greatness in the world, and each one of us ought to have it. There is greatness in the world, and each one of us ought to have it. Ought to have it. It is our divine right. There is healing in the world, and we ought to have it. It is ours. We are worthy. There is abundance in the world. We ought to have it in our lives in many, many forms. There is peace in the world, and the world ought to have it. We ought to have it. There is an abundance of it. We can't take too much. It is ours. It is ours. It is our birthright. There is love in the world, and we ought to have it. We ought to have it. It is due to us, all of these things. It is due to us, and all we need to do is say yes. Say that out loud. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Everything that we desire ought to be ours because we deserve it. So I'm declaring in this moment that that healing, that anyone who is desiring, that is wishing for, that is wanting is already there. That the abundance that any one of us is wishing for, the abundance for our center is already there. I know that the love and the peace in the world is already there because why? We thought it, we spoke it out loud, and the universe says yes, yes, yes. And I am so grateful for it. I'm grateful for these teachings. I'm grateful for Ernest Holmes. I am grateful for all of his teachers and beyond, for reminding us of the truth of who we are. Who we are, perfect, whole, and complete. And so I release this prayer into the law of mind, knowing that it is already done, that there is nothing that we need to do. We don't have to plead. We don't have to beg. All we need to do is move forward in the direction of that which we seek. And let God do the rest. Let God do God. Let the universe be the universe. Let love, and let peace. I release this word into the law of mind, knowing that it is complete, knowing that it's already in process, and I can affirm it if you will all affirm it with me by saying, and so it is. Take a deep breath. I'm shaking after that. Wow. I don't know what you all did, but I'm shaking. I feel the power. I had to get my wiggles. I had to get my wiggles out. All right. So it's time that we pass our offering basket.